Hello, welcome to my channel. I will say first sorry for my very bad English. I will try my best here to explain and say here and explain myself. I will try my best. I'm not good at this. I will say my best metal albums of this year. I will start with Epica with the album Omega. This is at least top 10 best albums of this year. I don't have any specific order, but what can I say? It's hard. It's so many albums this year, so it's very hard to put a list. Epica, as I said, Epica with the album Omega. Sometimes it's a debate between Epica and Nightwish. Who is the better? I don't hate Nightwish. Some of their songs is very good, in fact, but this album from Epica is far better in my eyes. It have more clear symphonic parts, more heavy based songs. Okay, one or two songs on the album repeats itself maybe too much, but in some sections, but overall it's very good album. It have everything you can ask for a band called Epica. It's very epic. It's very, I don't know how to explain it, but it's at least top 10 for me this year of best albums this year. Can we find the light? Next album on this list is from a band called The Dawn Youth, I think. Nowhere. It's a hard rock band, so it's it's not really a metal band. It's more of a hard rock band, but it's so fucking great. This band had one of the best singers I heard this year, I must say, of hard rock songs at least. What a great singer this band have. She takes this album from a 7 rating album to or even a 6 rated album to a 11 of 10 rating album almost. It's so they are from Canada. I don't know if I mentioned that. What it really stuck for me is what her incredible ability she have on singing. It's very hard to find these days, to find this type of singers in any band, at least. Of course, it have some bands have a great singing, but this is on completely another level almost. Is it for me? So, Nowhere from the band The Dawn Youth, at least top 10 for me. Great album. Next album I will mention here is from a band called Tribulation, Where the Gloom Becomes Sound. I don't have so much here to say more than it's a Swedish band called Tribulation, as I said. It's very good overall, very good album. It's a blend of dark, almost beauty. I don't know how to explain it. It's some parts of the album is more darker, more heavy. some parts some parts is more gothic, more beauty. Some guitar section is very beautiful. It's it's a very hard to explain this album, for me at least. And this was their guitar player Jonathan Hultén last album for this band, and it's very sad, I must add. I hope they will find something that can replace him somehow. I don't know, but this album is at least top 5 best album this year. It's very hard to, as I said before, earlier. It's hard to do a specific order of best albums, but this album, Where the Gloom Becomes Sound, is at least top 5 for me. So check that out if you want. Yeah, I don't know really how more to explain it, but from a Swedish band as Tribulation to another Swedish band, At the Gates. At the Gates have been active since 30, I think it's 30, you say that, 30 years, playing melodic death metal from Gothenburg. Och the album is called The Nightmare of Being. Och jävlar. It's nothing new. It's not a new sound they're bringing. It's the same old At the Gates as we know. But it have a little bit more prog elements, more OPF almost, but not really. OPF is also on another level, of course, of prog, but At the Gates have bring some little bit more prog elements to the sound, to the music, to everything. I think they deliver once again. I think another great album, not the greatest album of them, but it is far better than the last album. But it's not greater than the first albums. But the first albums they did is almost gold status. I don't know how to say it, but whatever. Yeah, The Nightmare of Being. Another great album from At the Gates. Far better, as I said, far better than the last To Drink from the Night Itself album. That was, what it be, 3 years ago. They released it, To Drink from the Night Itself. So yeah, The Nightmare of Being this year is far better than that. So check that out. I don't have too much to say. It's still almost the same old At the Gates, but maybe a little bit more prog elements, more clean vocals. I like the blend of the clean and the harsh vocals they do, as many other bands do also, but At the Gates do it good, so it's a good album, for fuck's sake. I'm back with another mention of a great album this year. This album is called Don't Spare the Weekend. I don't know how to say it. I don't know if you saw that, but the band is called Fortress, and this is, I think it is my favorite heavy metal album of this year. I think it is. It have maybe the only weak thing about this album is the length, and maybe also it does not bring something outstanding or something new to the table. But and you have heard the same guitar riff going on before with others band. At least you have heard the guitar riff in some songs twice before, but it's nothing new. But I think overall, it is a steady album from Fortress. Yeah, I don't have so much more to say really. Next album on my list of great metal albums of this year, it is the band Whitechapel. I don't know how to say that, really. Sorry for that, but I don't know. That is the band name and that is the album name. I don't know if you saw that, but Whitechapel. Kin. I don't have been a big fan of this band before, or the past albums they have put on, but this album is really great, really good start to finish. It has good clean vocals that blends very good with harsh vocals once again. What I said about At the Gates album, it's the same here. It's a very good blend of clean vocals and harsh vocals. It have more gentle sound guitar than before. Also, maybe it's not that heavy as an album overall, but I think it is a great album. Still a great album. I don't know if it is top 10 for me, but yeah, I do believe it's top 10 for me. I think it's hard. As I said, I don't have any specific order, but yeah, I do think that. So yeah, that was that. Next album comes from Darkthrone with the album Eternal Hails. Darkthrone have created the darkest and the rawest black metal for 30 years past. If I am honest, I am not the biggest fan of their earliest albums. It feels like, almost for me at least, it feels like, Mother, can you record us with your cheapest camera ever when we play our songs we created here just 5 minutes ago, and we play? That's that for me with the older albums of Darkthrone. But Eternal Hills, it still feels very raw. It still feels very dark, raw. But that is how black metal did sound back in the days, and and this, but the interesting for me with this album is they have inspiration a lot inspiration from Black Sabbath, and that you can hear it very clearly in some songs that they have taken inspiration from Black Sabbath. Is not Black Sabbath. It is with harsh vocals, of course, but some songs maybe is too long for my taste, but it is too many songs that are long for my taste. But overall, it's solid album from a legendary band as Darkthrone. But I will not recommend the album to everyone. It's, as I said, very raw, very dark, but it have some interesting guitar idea, some interesting things here and there. Maybe it's not completely it's maybe not completely nothing new to the table, but yeah, I think the Eternal Hales is a very great album. So that's what I can't. It's a great album. I don't know what more I can say about that. It is on top 10, this album. Next album come from the Jinjer, Wallflowers. I think you say that. Wallflowers. Top 10 for me, at least. Top 10 best albums of this year. The album Macro won the best album from me. That was 2 years ago, and now they are back once again. But this album, I don't think this album not appeal to everybody. It's a lot heavier for sure. Which I like. Maybe Wallflowers is not as great as Macro, but it is still a great album. I don't know. Jinjer is Jinjer. It's hard to tell what they don't have any specific genre. You can't say Jinjer is a deathcore band, or you can't say Jinjer is a metalcore band. You can't say Jinjer is a. You can maybe say Jinjer is a progressive metal band, maybe, but this album is more heavier, as I said, and as I said, also is maybe not appeal to everybody. But yeah, Jinjer is back with a great album once again. Maybe not as great as Macro, but top 10. The next album on this list is called Pilgrim, and the band called Thron, I think. Thron. Oh yeah, I don't know really, but Thron. I don't know. One more good black metal album from this year comes from a pretty new band from Germany. They have just been active since 6 years past. They have implemented pieces which offering a more ambient and somewhat relaxing feeling for me at least. But the album still offering the very heavy elements of black metal, and they have some elements of death metal, but it's very in the shadow almost. Yeah, it's a I think the band's best album to this date. They have released, in fact, 3 albums before, two albums before this album, but this album is very good in my mind. Yeah, I don't have so much more to say that, so that you have it. I am the prophet of the next album of this year. Next album of this list. Fan, jag börjar... is a band called Tower, and the album name is Shock to the System. I mentioned before that Fortress album was one of my favorite heavy metal albums of this year. This album is second on that road for me of best heavy metal albums of this year. The singer in this band have a little bit Doro style vocals. It's not as great as Doro, but hey, the singer in this album is for sure the highlight for me. The band also does not copy 100% of everything you heard in the past years. Yeah, okay, you maybe heard it somewhere, but at least it's not 100. At least it's not 100% copy of something. It have a little bit more creative style approach. So the band Tower with the album Shock to the System is on the list of one of the best albums of this year. I don't know if it's not top 5, but top 10 at least. So check that out. Next album is called Lupi Amoris with the band Heavy Temple. This album is why I prefer clean vocals on doom metal tracks. Paul Bearer is also a band, for example, that doing that great. This album have some psychedelic elements, which is a nice touch. It have a blend of classic Black Sabbath feeling and some more of the new doom metal tracks with harsh vocals. So check out Heavy Temple with the album Lupi Amoris, I think you call it. Great. At least top 10 with that album also. It's very clear for me that doom metal is much better with clean vocals, with strong clean vocals. So yeah. Last album of this list I have writing down. It is a band called Temple of Gorgon. Throats of Lie is the album name. I don't have too much to say here. It's a very unknown band and album this year, but a great album. Maybe it's not past the 10 best albums of the year, but it have headbanging riff It have some dark sounds. It have some dark sounds. Overall, it's a very pretty good album. As I said, I don't have so much more to say on that album. No, this is the last album of the list. The band is called Stormkeep, Tales of Othertime. This album have a great blend of the early black metal sound with some folk elements, some melodic elements, and some parts have a little more, and some parts have a little more ambient dungeon synth elements. Overall, the album also have a rich atmosphere. A great album for sure. So check out Tales of Othertime with the band Stormkeep. So that was that. As I said before, my English is really bad, but I have tried my best here, as best I could at least. So that was my best albums of this year, not in a specific order, but yeah, I will write every band and album down below, so just check it out on your own if you want. Goodbye.